Hi everyone, my name is Michelle Really Curve. I'm an autistic blogger of my own blog website, The World of Autism. I work full-time as a paraprofessional for a public school district in Florida, and I work for Full Spectrum ABA. I work with them on various roles. I do a lot. I do a lot, but it's all important for the community, for people with autism, and for all disabilities. I have a guest on here as part of my guest interview series for the World of Autism. I have on today Beaver. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am doing well. I want to get to have the audience get to know you a bit, and actually also about the shop that you own.
Sure, absolutely. Well, my name is Beaver Shriver, and I'm down here in Sarasota, Florida. I guess fairly close to you, and hopefully close to some of your viewers, your fans, your followers, and the whole show. Anyway, I have a pretty fun human rights movement disguised as a coffee and ice cream shop going here in downtown Sarasota. It's a place called Rise and Nyes. It's right in downtown. You can't miss us. It's front and center, which was the whole idea behind the mission, was to have it where everybody could see us. We have 35 people who work with us. Most have never had a job, and most have intellectual or developmental disabilities. So that's the mission behind what we're doing. We're a nonprofit, and that's what we're up to.
That is so cool. That is very interesting. Why did you, first of all, the title of the name of your coffee shop, why did you call it Rise and Nyes?
So I guess a couple of reasons. So the guy who helped me get it going, he's an executive chef, trained at the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York. So he's a serious chef guy. And his last name is Nye, N-Y-E. So thinking about putting the shop together, Beaver and Nyes, Shriver and Nyes just didn't flow very well. So we thought Rise and Nyes, that rhymes. We're helping our team members rise up. People rise up in the morning, or coffee helps them rise up. So there's the reason for the name. It's short and sweet, and it works for us.
I can see that and it makes sense, especially for like in the morning, like getting coffee and stuff. It definitely makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. And you were saying that you have a lot of employees who have intellectual developmental disabilities, correct?
Yep, that's right. We again have 35 people that work with us. We have a range of, I'll say, abilities. Some maybe have one disability. We have folks with Down syndrome, people with epilepsy, cerebral palsy, lots of people with autism. So it's a broad range of we'll say disabilities, but that's not discounting. There are many, many abilities.
That is awesome. And what inspired you to be able to hire people with disabilities? What inspired you about that?
So I have a long family history with Special Olympics. I've been involved since the beginning. I was timing swim meets when I was age 7, which was a long time ago, when Special Olympics actually used to be Camp Shriver. And now it serves 6 million or so athletes. My cousin started a group called Best Buddies, which you may be familiar with. He started that when he was in college, so I've been involved in that for a long time. And I grew up with a friend, probably my best friend growing up. His name is Barry. He has autism. His mom was one of those people who said, Barry, you're going out and doing everything that everybody else does. I'm not keeping you at home. I'm not keeping you hidden. So Barry and I did everything together. We'd go bowling, go out to dinner, we'd play golf, tennis, whatever. We were doing everything together. And I was proud to be with Barry. Many of Barry's friends didn't get the opportunity to be out and about. They were kept at home, and whether families were embarrassed, whether families were thinking, gosh, my son or daughter really shouldn't be out and about, or can't do this or can't do that. Barry was allowed and pushed to do everything. So we did lots together. But I saw that many of Barry's friends didn't get out and about. Barry got a job at age 18. He timed out of school in Pennsylvania at age 18. That's what the age was way back when. And he got a job at the VA hospital in Pennsylvania outside Pittsburgh. And he's still there today, 42 years later, has the same job. His coworkers still say the same thing: Barry, slow down. You're doing too much. So he's amazing. Again, I saw that many of his friends, 80%, in fact, never got a job. So I felt it important to allow people who may have one disability to have a job, have a place to show their abilities. And that, again, is the whole idea behind Rise and Nyes and our supporting nonprofit, which is called Inclusion Revolution.
That's awesome. And it really is important about the fact where you're saying that people with disabilities do have abilities. Like, we all have skills that we're able to show in the workplace.
Sure.
Absolutely. And I can relate with myself, like, about the fact that I've worked in more than one job that involves with either working directly with kids or helping with team members out, like I do with Full Spectrum. Me and as I told you about with Erica Leyer, we both work for Full Spectrum ABA. We're helping them in terms of how they should be working with clients who are on the autism spectrum. So it's just, the idea of just trying to, with pushing with people to get them to be involved in the world, and that's how it should be.
Absolutely. Yep. So as I mentioned, we have 35 people who work with us. And again, a wide range of abilities. Kelly, our morning barista, has Down syndrome. Julia, one of our main cashiers, has autism. It's a real mix, and to see them shine, to see them be able to work, to be included finally in the community, no longer excluded, to watch people come in, whether they're teachers or parents of a child with a disability. They come in and many start crying. They just can't believe that there may be an opportunity one day for their students or for their son or daughter to have a chance to have a job, to be included like everybody else. It's a shame that people with disabilities can't go apply to the same job that I can. I can walk over to that store or that business and take in my resume. And it's not right, because these guys, they run the shop. Kelly with Down syndrome, she's our morning barista. She can make a mean latte with oat milk and extra espresso and whatever. I can't do that, but she can. She also happens to be a competitive ballroom dancer, which is amazing. She competes all over Florida. And she's always dancing in the shop. So now she has a chance to share that with people. And I tell people that, and she's so proud of that. We've even gotten her gigs just doing demos at local condo buildings. 50, 60 people come to see her dance and to learn how to ballroom dance with her. And again, she would never in the past have had that opportunity. When I was a kid, she could have easily been placed in a state institution, forgotten, discarded, sterilized, just horrible things we used to do to people like Kelly. So I'm hoping with my shop to showcase people like her, let other business owners come in and say, gosh, I didn't know someone with Down syndrome could make a latte. I didn't know somebody with autism could run a register and be able to talk to me and speak just like you and I are talking. And it's a shame that that there are those attitudes or misconceptions. So my hope is that the shop helps to change that. It's a two-way street at Rise and Nyes. People get a job who've never had a job. They get a paycheck. They get paid more than minimum wage, you share the tips, they get a business card, pride of having a job, all those things that most people get to enjoy. But then the flip side is the customers get to come in and meet them and see the abilities and hopefully be inspired to maybe hire them in their shop or at their car dealership. They can do the jobs, just need, like everybody else, to, here's how you do it. Let me show you how to do this. And away they go.
Absolutely. Providing the support and training is key. That's all you need.
Mhm.
And that, just, with that proper training and support, you could have anybody shine in your place or in any company in general, any workplace, really. And I love the fact that when you were helping her so much, like beyond what she was doing for the coffee shop, like beyond like going to help her with the dancing skills and everything. Like, wow, that's awesome.
Well, it's really fun. It's just giving these guys a platform to show what they can do. It's made lots of amazing connections for these guys. I mean, I could go on and on with stories of successes and what people have learned on both sides of the coin. So the staff, the customers coming in, our team leaders, our jobs coaches who are there with them, the advances we've seen, people with speech impediments who are now shouting out order numbers and running the register. If you run the register in a coffee shop, if somebody orders a latte, you have to ask them about 48 questions to make sure you get the latte right. What size and what kind of milk? And do you want any flavoring? And on and on and on. So, you know, again, people with a speech impediment are now feeling ownership of the shop and feeling confidence to be able to do things like that. And it's just so heartwarming to see it happening. And it's also sad in a way that it's taken so long for that to become just a possibility for these guys.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And it's still like a challenge. There's still, you have the statistics where it's the unemployment rate, or even like just at a lower employment rate, it's just like still skyrocketing. It really is.
Yeah, it's the unemployment rate for individuals with a disability is 20 times that of a typically developing person. And that's just not right. It was 80% versus it's less than 4% now for the mainstream population. And it just shouldn't be. There's so many businesses now crying, gosh, I can't find anybody to work, or my dishwasher showed up today and then she didn't show up the next day. And these guys show up early to work. They're happy to be there. They're smiling. The atmosphere in our shop is just so uplifting. Everybody's just so happy. My gosh, there's a customer. Woo, welcome to Rise and Nyes. It's just a great, fun place. And not to say at other shops that doesn't happen, but again, many businesses are complaining, gosh, we have to cut back our hours, or we can't offer this service anymore because we can't find anybody to work. I have 200 plus people on the waiting list to work at Rise and Nyes, and I've never hung up a sign saying, hey, we're hiring, hey, we need help. It's just people have heard about us, found us online, submitted an application, and we don't have any space for them right now. So we're hoping to expand. We're gonna do a food truck, and we're doing lots more events, so we're bringing on more people to help with that. But the hope is, again, many other businesses will do the same as what we're doing. Maybe not hire 35 like us, but 1 or 2 here and there. Let's get these guys out there and get them working and contribute to society. Just instead of sitting there receiving benefits, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to make some money and pay taxes and do all the things that regular people do.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. And I'm so glad that you are trying to plan about with expanding. I know with my area where I live, like there's so much that's developing right now. So that's definitely a good idea to like explore out and like maybe possibly do expansion there, because I'm technically like right in the Lakewood Ranch area. So they're really expanding like a lot. They're a lot. They really are. Like there's a lot more shops, stores opening up. Like they're building like crazy right here. So
well, we
you'll
hope
have
to
to
be up
definitely
there.
explore. You'll definitely have to keep on expanding. And to wrap this up, I want to ask you one final question, which would be, what would be one tip for people when they're hiring employees with developmental disabilities?
The tip would be just hire them. That would be the main tip. It's no big deal. It's, gosh, again, we have 35, and it's a real range of abilities that these guys have, just like anybody. You just have to give them a chance. We've got one guy who works in the shop. He's he's tiny. He probably weighs 70 pounds with rocks in his pockets. He doesn't like coffee. He's too short to work the register. And he said, I want to scoop ice cream. That can be pretty tough. When the ice cream comes out of the back freezer, it's 25 degrees below zero. It's like a rock. And here he comes, ready to scoop. He's got these tiny little arms, but that's what he wanted to do. We got him a little step stool, one of the old 1970s step workout platforms. He gets up on that and he scoops. It took one tiny accommodation so that Ricky could comfortably scoop ice cream. Many of the guys don't need any accommodation. Some of the others need lots of help. So we do it a little bit differently than some other places. We have people that work in the shop. Every time we make a cup of coffee, we do it together. And that's okay. That's what we're there to do. And there are others we can leave the shop and everything we know is going to be absolutely fine. So again, my advice to other people considering hiring somebody who may have a disability, just hire them. And if you need to make an accommodation or two, I mean, you just do it. It's not a big deal. And these guys will be your best employees that you can ever think to have.
Wow. I love that so much. That was such a powerful message right there. I can't even tell you. More places need to be like that. That's exactly the message, that more places need to be like that. Just hire, give people a chance, because they have a lot of skills that they could bring to the workplace.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Beaver, I want to thank you so much for coming on
Sure.
there about being an owner for Rise and Nyes and for hiring people with developmental disabilities. Please make sure you guys come out to visit. Make sure to visit.
Come on down anytime. We're in downtown Sarasota on State Street. We'd love to see every one of you guys out there.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. For all my followers and for any new followers, make sure you follow me as Exceptional Shell, Self-Advocate MV on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok, you name it. On all. So thank you so much again, Beaver, for coming on.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Thank you.